Hi everyone, welcome to the Aries Moon Girl channel. I'm live now with you guys in order to talk about an event that's happening right as we speak. And I went live just because I'm thinking if some of you can also join or are able to join, I'm really looking forward to having a discussion about what you guys think this great conjunction is gonna bring. I put up a poll today again and asked you guys if you think that the great conjunction will actually bring great changes into our lives, or if we believe that nothing big will change. Most of you, actually 100% of the ones that have answered, hi hi there, 100% of those that have answered have said that they believe that this great conjunction will bring something big in our lives. And I'm gonna tell you guys why I want to do this live, and I want to hear your opinion, and I wonder what you believe that this will bring. Because before I go into my interpretation, I think this great conjunctions has to do a lot with our individual power about projecting what we want into our lives. I'm gonna go into this in a bit. But before I start, and before maybe more of you gather, just for the few that have already joined, I wanted to ask you if you have seen the poll and if you have done the answer the question, and if so, if you believe that it will bring a great change into our lives, and if so, if you believe that this will be immediate. I I have seen so many videos, so much content about this great conjunction, and I've seen so many people giving their opinion that have YouTube channels and people that are into astrology or law of attraction. But I'm curious how you guys are perceiving it. If you think that it will have an impact on your lives. Yeah, so drop me a note on this if you have an opinion. By then, I'm gonna start with my own opinion to begin with. So for those of you that know me a bit and know this channel, you might know about me that I am Pisces. I am a Pisces sun, Pisces rising. I have my Jupiter very close to this conjunction in Aquarius, in my 12th house. And that's why I kind of felt compelled to talk about the subject, because I feel like my 12th house, Jupiter there, astrology, I have to talk about it. But I feel that more people in this situation kind of need to start talking and start giving their own interpretation of what you think the future will look like. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. So let's go into the conjunction, because people have discussed it in the past, but I'm going to just give a brief overview about the conjunction. And I'm going to say that, as you might know, this conjunction happens only every 20 years. So it's been 20 years almost since we last had this. It doesn't usually happen this close. It has not been this close for 370 something years. So from the 1600s, and then again 400 years back. So 800 years. It's the last time when it was this close. We're really looking at something that's having a lot more impact. The closer a conjunction is, the stronger it is. Yeah, okay. We're starting to see some answers, and I'm really curious to read your answers, guys. So it's impactful from this point of view. It's impactful that it happens every 20 years. It's impactful that it happens so close, only every 400 years. And it is mostly impactful that it's in an air sign, and it hasn't been in an air sign for the past 2000 years. So since we have entered this Pisces, this age of Pisces, as we know it, we haven't had one of these close conjunctions in an air sign. And the last few such conjunctions were more in earth signs, where different type of energies are activated. Hi, Gemini mind. Different type of energies are activated, but for the first time, we're talking about something that seems to be very powerful. People are not crazy to talk about it so much. It's very powerful for the reasons I just went through, but it's also very powerful because it aligns with what we call now the Age of Aquarius. So if you were to if you were to take the Age of Aquarius, you know, as a what analogy can I take? If you were to press that last button, you know, like that last button that kind of catapults you and says, okay, goodbye, we're out of here, we're teleporting ourselves, we're going all to the Age of Aquarius, this would be the button. So God, someone in the sky, the universe has put the button on there and has said, okay, press it. And no one knows exactly what will happen. That's why I'm curious to know what you guys think will happen. So we already have an answer. Arabesh Brescia. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Better not say it. So I'm a Capricorn, an Aries, Jupiter, and Taurus Saturn, and honestly, I want to believe it will bring a change to how my life has been. Yeah, definitely as a Capricorn, it will bring a change to how your life has been. It's moving into the second house, so it will bring an impact on your financial life, most of all, I think. So I would expect good things for that. And yeah, definitely it's also a relief to have the sign, although it feels well in Capricorn to have it come out and go into Aquarius. Yes, so I was talking about pressing that button and catapulting ourselves into the Age of Aquarius. So we're moving now at light speed. So people are talking usually about the digital revolution just as a concept. We're not an Aquarius moon. Yeah. This is gonna be really impactful for you. So people are usually talking about this this type of transition from the Pisces era to the Aquarius era more as a theoretical thing, and people are placing it in the future. I have heard interpretations that say that Age of Aquarius is starting in 2100. Others say it has started already at the beginning of the last century. Guys, if you want to know what's correct about an information that cannot have precise answers, and here astrology is an information that's based on real science, but the whole thing, and as Aquarius governs astrology, the whole thing is about how we interpret astrology. The whole thing is learning how to read. We use math, we use letters, we use stars, we use everything just to be able to download information. This is what Aquarius stands for, and this is what we're gonna do also tonight when we're talking about this conjunction. So if I'm talking about the Age of Aquarius and I'm asking myself, has it started or not? Just look at how your lives have evolved over the past 20 years. Just think, I'm born in 1985. I shouldn't reveal my age, but I'm born in 1985. I was also born in Romania. So in communist ages, I remember having an old telephone that you would dial like this. And I remember, if someone would have told me that I would be sitting now and talking to a bunch of people from all over the world through a screen, and my job would be to talk with a bunch of people over a screen, and I could reach anywhere in the world in the brink of a second. I can think of something and see it appear on a device that I always carry with me. we're underestimating how big this revolution is. We're underestimating what we're living at the moment. So when the when people started writing, thank you, when people started writing and printing books, this was a big change already. So when you started printing and being able to spread the written word, this was a huge change. When the Renaissance came, this was a big change. But what we're living now is beyond that big change. And also astrologically, it is kind of sustained. People are saying that the world, the Earth itself is jumping into a new dimension through all of this. And definitely over the past 2,000 years, it hasn't done this. Definitely over the past 2,000 years, we have lived something different. And the evolutions and the changes that we had over this past 2,000 years weren't this great. You guys are the lucky ones that were chosen to be born in these times. And if we're chosen to be born in these times, we kind of need to know what we need to do with these times. If you are born now, the reason is that you need to understand certain things. You need to do something with your life, with your words, with your actions. It's because you were here on Earth at a moment of huge change. And if we were to take just this conjunction, just talking about the conjunction now, I'm taking it to a micro level, and then we'll go to the Age of Aquarius and Age of Pisces. So at the micro level, what's been going on over the past year has been almost science fiction. Has been Aquarius, like it's like an Aquarius director was writing this, and Saturn has been in Aquarius at the beginning of the year, bouncing back, coming back now. And Jupiter, in the meantime, has come along and has joined Saturn, and they are at 0 degrees Aquarius, another very significant degree. And you cannot pretend that what's happening to us now has to do with normality. It doesn't have to do with normality. Nothing that we're going through is normal. But at the same time, it is preparing us for a huge change. It is introducing the first signs of what is to come over the next 2,000 years. It's pressing that button, and it's elevating, it's moving everything extremely fast and preparing it to what it will become. This year has been a lot about Capricorn with 0 degrees. Is that possible? What does it mean? So it has just entered in Aquarius. So it just left Capricorn, and when it left Capricorn, it went the closest it can go. It kind of, like got very close and very powerful, but not in Capricorn, in Aquarius, in the 0 degrees, 0.1 and 0.6 degrees is where Jupiter and Saturn are now. So they have waited to get out of Capricorn, and they joined forces in Aquarius. As every beginning is, as every kickstart, as every full-on start needs to start. This is how the conjunction is happening. And now they have united there. Jupiter stands for expansion. Saturn stands for contraction. Jupiter stands for belief. Jupiter stands for faith. Jupiter stands for prosperity, also what's good, and optimism. Capricorn stands for realism. Capricorn stands for hard work. Capricorn stands for reaping results through work. Jupiter stands for getting results through faith, through belief, through law of attraction, for example. It's a very Jupiterian type of concept. So for the first time, we're told 2 messages. So we're told, okay, You can have it all, but you need to work for it. People kind of have interpreted it as, okay, this means that and the sign of Aquarius plays a big role how you can have it all and how you need to work for it, because it's a very different approach than how Capricorn works for it. People have interpreted as, okay, so now that it is here, Jupiter will bring the good and we'll leave Saturn behind. No, we're not leaving Saturn behind. Saturn is the initial ruler of Aquarius. Saturn, together with Uranus, still still is considered to rule Aquarius. So we're not leaving the Saturnian world behind. We're not leaving the concrete world behind. What's happening usually between Aquarius and Pisces is that Aquarius is the one that pours the water. So Aquarius is kind of the one that's in between worlds. Pisces is the esoteric, I'm out of here, I flew out of here, Jupiter ruled, Neptune ruled, I'm all over the place, all over in space. Aquarius is in between worlds. It's half man, but it's also pouring that consciousness, pouring the water of consciousness, is preparing us to kind of leap into consciousness. This is what's happening with Aquarius, and is ruled by Saturn also because Aquarius wants to use that consciousness to reorganize the current world. So Aquarius is not all chaos or not all esoteric. Esoteric and chaos is Pisces. So this is the era that we're coming from. Aquarius is Aquarius is a lot about actually interpreting consciousness, pulling from the cloud, reorganizing, and making what we have here on Earth better, making it more functional in a very unusual way. So anything that has to do with Capricorn and Saturn is exactly like it's hardworking, hectic, exactly how you say, a lot of hard work here on Earth. Aquarius gets the download from above and then reorganizes everything. So doesn't necessarily work on principles that you know. That would be Capricorn. You know the path and you walk on it. Aquarius doesn't know the path. No, I think the Age of Aquarius, there is a question there. Do you think an Age of Aquarius might bring us perhaps less solidarity? No, I think it will bring us more solidarity, maybe less charity, less empathy in the Piscean way, but I'll go into this in a second. So I think what's going on now between the Age of Aquarius and the Age of Pisces has to do with really understanding these two signs. So the two signs are the last signs of the zodiac. So, and we're moving backwards. You usually go from Aquarius to Pisces, but now we've been in Pisces and we're going towards Aquarius. And this press of a button of being both hardworking, pragmatic, here on Earth, working for it, reorganizing our current structures, still keeping faith, still keeping optimism, a mixture between contraction and expansion. This is how the world works in general, contraction and expansion. This is Jupiter and Saturn all together, but this is how the life is born, like contraction and expansion is everything that that we have in this world. So it's like a new birth. This is the trigger that's happening now. And we're moving now at light speed into this Aquarian age where we're already so deep in. We're already, we dipped our toes in the water. So there's no going back. There's no going back from me being in contact with all of you guys now over the screen. There's no going back from people exchanging ideas from all over the world, people talking the same languages, people being able to connect so much mentally through exactly what we're living now, through the internet. People to being able to obtain what they want at the brink of a second, like exactly the cloud download, like, I want this, I'm thinking of this this is what I'm gonna have. So we're so far in this, and it's only now just gonna catapult us, and we'll see in a few years, maybe like 2-3 years from now, we'll see, oh my god, it really took us, like now it's like, you know, like, have you ever seen Need for Speed, and when they press that knocks button, and all of a sudden they go faster than they ever were. This is what this great conjunction is about. It won't happen today, but it will start happening even faster. And what this year was preparing us. It was like we're pulling back into Capricorn. Saturn went back to take Jupiter with it. You know, like when you want to throw a stone and you're pulling back, and now we're just releasing it. And it's starting into the universe. It's going extremely fast, and you're not gonna be able to stop it or bring it back. On a global level, politically. So let's talk about politics a bit, just at the current context. So let's talk about having everything in Capricorn versus having everything in Aquarius, before I go again into Pisces and Aquarius. But let's talk about this year. So having everything in Capricorn, Capricorn is the big daddy energy. Capricorn is the energy of, I'm in charge, I'll take care of you. I know the path. I am Saturnian. I work hard for where I get. I'm the elite. I'm up there because I worked hard for it. So I'm going to tell you how to do things. I'm going to show you how to do things. I'm going to rule you. I'm going to lead you through the power of work that I put into everything. What's going on now? Aquarius is not that. Aquarius is that concept of self-rulership, when you're like, no, I'm not going to be told what to do. I'm not going to think by any rules, except the ones that I directly can pull from consciousness as well. So Aquarius is that mixture between rules here on earth and inspiration, divine inspiration. That's why they come up with mad ideas. That's why everyone thinks, oh yeah, they're eccentric. That's why people think, oh, the way an Aquarius does things is so crazy and so out there, because it's not the Capricorn set, worked on way. It's the download of information and the unusual way of how we rule. And also it has to do with self-governing. Aquarius thinks we're all equal. We had trials of this. I'm born in a communist country. We had trials of making everyone equal. And even now we're having it through the spread of information, through everything that's going on in the world, through the sharing economy that's going on now, that's very Aquarian as well. We had trials of kind of equalizing everything, and we're still moving towards that. The world will be a lot more equal. It won't be elites and people that are lower. With time, I'm talking about maybe hundreds or thousands of years. With time, will be all a lot more equal, and people will be organized based on their thinking system, based on what they believe in, based on their mentalities. You can already see this in the internet world. That's very Aquarian. They're based on their principles, on their ideas, on what they believe in. Those will be government. I'm talking really in the future. I'm not talking about next year, but those will be self-governed entities, because the governing entity will be what unites us in our principles, in our beliefs. But everyone will be able to kind of govern themselves, and from that point you will be able to associate with others and govern through that. So you're not ruled from above, you're ruled from the ground, and you're ruled through mental principles. You're coming into a union. Union is another word that's very Aquarian, and you're ruling the world through that. So you're ruling with other people that are like-minded. Aquarius very much is about mind and like-minded. So people will associate, not so much as we were before, based on family, based on government, based on all of this. People will associate on their beliefs, on their principles, on their level of mental awareness, on the level of what they want to achieve for their life. So the world is being a bit reshuffled. If you noticed over the past years, there's another thing that kind of is big now in the world, and has to do with people being very lonely. And hi, North in Aquarius at 1.6 degrees. Yeah. So definitely, it's I was mentioning before that those that are born in this time were chosen to be born in this time, not accidentally. So the fact that we're in one of the biggest changes that has happened in the last 2000 years or even more, it's not accidental. So if you're born at this time, also your probably your natal chart is going to be, and if you're searching for the answers, your natal chart is going to be impacted, but also you kind of need to find your role in this change. So that's my own conclusion with my Jupiter in Aquarius in the 12th house. It's okay. What is my role in this change? What can how can I help guide along? How can I help myself understand it better? But how can I help others understand it better? So I would think someone with the North Node in Aquarius definitely has this role in this lifetime as well. So I was saying that Aquarius doesn't mean less solidarity. It's a lot of solidarity. It's just a lot more mental. And when I was talking about this year, I said, okay, it was preparing us. Now we're going into next year with this conjunction. It's going to make aspects also to Venus, and it's going to make aspects also to Uranus, which is, again, Uranus is the planet of Aquarius, and this time is in Taurus. You need to start thinking for yourself. Going back to that Age of Aquarius, Age of Pisces thing. So if we said we push the button and now we're jumping from the Age of Pisces, which we already started leaving behind, into the Age of Aquarius, what's going on now, and you will hear it a lot on the internet, is something that would have been called blasphemy in the Age of Pisces, and that is, you are God. You hear it a lot in groups that have to do with law of attraction. You hear it a lot in the esoteric community, and people are a lot saying, okay, you are God, you can manifest for yourself, you can manifest, you can have whatever you want, you are in charge. And somehow this is already acceptable. It wouldn't have been, think in in Christian times, in the beginnings, like, to claim that you are God. It's a madness, because Pisces doesn't seek to interpret things. Pisces is happy enough staying in that consciousness thing. We're happy enough that we feel. So Pisces feels, Pisces can sense things, but it doesn't need to translate them. For going back to Aquarius, Aquarius takes things from the same cloud, from the same God source as Pisces is pulling on. It's just translating it and taking it down to society and spreading it to people, giving it in people's hands, solidarity, giving it in people's minds, empowering people. This is what Aquarius is all about. It's like, okay, we're not all living up there. We're not all in the skies. We're not all in heaven. I'm gonna there is an underlying change in society, and also personally, I think if we haven't felt it by now, and I was giving the big examples of what has changed only in my lifetime since I'm born, but if you haven't felt it by now with this press of the button, you will start feeling it. But Aquarius empowers people. So if for the first time, we'll get a lot more information for ourselves, and we'll get to govern ourselves more. This year, we've been pulled back to Capricorn exactly so we can get that inner turmoil of being held back. And this is still happening because Saturn is it's holding us back still now. Jupiter kind of gives us faith for the future. So what's happening now in a lot of people, the need to be free to organize their own lives, to never be at someone's oppressive hands or even protective hands, because what we experience this year is very daddy Capricorn energy. It's like, okay, I'll protect you for your own good, I'll keep you somewhere safe, which is probably the best thing that could have happened. But the rebellious teenager Aquarius kind of now says, okay, I'm gonna govern myself for the future. I am deciding for myself what's good and what's not. I am able to evaluate things through my own thinking. And what has happened this year, through pulling back so much and being actually so constrained, we all have raised our energy and our wish to actually have way more power and to manifest way more and to be way more in control of our own lives, and from being in control of our own lives, actually manifesting and organizing our society how we want. I'm sure if I were to ask you guys, or in discussions with your friends, because Aquarius is friends now, everyone kind of has an opinion about what was going on this year, and everyone has a better opinion of how they would have done it. For the first time, we're not necessarily only living well like we've lived over the past, I don't know, 20-30 years. I come from communism, so for me it was only that, but maybe for other people it was even more. So we're not only living well. For the first time, this situation we are in has put us in the situation to ask ourselves, maybe I should be able to decide more for myself about myself. Maybe it shouldn't be someone else. Maybe now that I'm not distracted with buying things, very earth sign, not distracted by, like everything that has to do with practical things. Now that I'm at home and I have time to think, now for the first time I'm interpreting, okay, I think I would like this and this to be different in my life and in society. And what is going on now is that you'll see from this, it won't be immediate. Next year we'll still have a bit of this Capricorn energy, and then slowly it will move, and we'll start to have more and more people that are taking leadership, but in small groups. You won't get to that united, okay, one leader for everyone. You will get to a lot of people with different opinions, with different ways of how they want to lead their lives. Very connected, all of them throughout the world, very much connected through principles. So until now, what counted was the physical proximity. Who's there? Who can I marry from my village? Where can I live with my family with? This is anyways starting now to dilute. People are meeting people from all over the world. You can be closer to someone online than you can be with people that you live in the same house, and this is already happening. This is already Aquarius. Wait, let me read one of the questions. How do you feel about us entering in Aquarius age with the corona situation? What about that isolation, overthinking? So isolation was necessary in order to push this button. So you need to have something that's making you feel discomfort in order for you to catapult for further. The isolation won't be lasting. You will still see it probably over the next half a year, the isolation. But then you will see that people will start thinking for themselves of how they want to organize their lives, and you will see that this situation was temporary, but it was necessary in order to create this impulse to go to the next level. So that's why we all had so much time to think, so we could push this button and catapult ourselves into the next level. If you don't have time to think, you just act out of instinct every day. You go to work, you eat, you do the same thing. You have no time to think, no time to feel discomfort. You buy something, you consume, and then you go on with your lives. This was the pull that needed to happen in order for us to be pushed forward. Yeah, so going back to the age of Pisces, we're leaving behind that type of God is something abstract. God is something up in the sky. I cannot touch it. I cannot influence my life. I am at divine mercy. It's very Neptunian. Also, it has to do with Jupiter as well, with Pisces. So a lot is faith. Just believe in it. It's somewhere existing there, but I'm not explaining it to myself. So that's why it's becoming mysterious. But that's why there's also so much room to manipulate people through their beliefs, through their religions, through everything they believe in, and they kind of sense it that it's out there, but it becomes so far away from them, or so hard to put into concrete, that this is how we had religion for the past 2000 years. Now we're moving into a situation where everyone is kind of interpreting its own religion. It's like, okay, I'm downloading, my connection with the divine is this, and this is how I'm choosing to interpret it on earth, and this is how I'm choosing to share it with other people. And you'll see a lot more different types of thinking, but one thing is for sure, people will feel a lot more empowered, and they will feel, okay, I have control over my life. This is where the age of Pisces wasn't like that, and this is where this year under Capricorn wasn't like that, because Pisces is elusive. You don't have control over Pisces energy. It's just out there. It's compassion, it's love, it's in the air. It's beautiful. It's like really heartfelt and sacrifice and all of this. And we will miss it. I'm sorry to say this. Everyone says that there's only positive with Aquarius. We'll miss something about the age of Pisces, because Pisces had to do with so much with, okay, I believe in something beautiful. I believe in the love for my neighbor. I believe in the in the mystery of life. I believe in all of that. I don't need to search for it or to question it at all. Now we'll question a lot more. And through questioning a lot more, we become our own little gods. Aquarius also has the danger of becoming a bit too, I don't want to say bad words, or because I love Aquarius energy as well, but like, okay, I know it. I'm my own little god. I know it all. I get it directly from the source. I know it. I know the truth. So I'm telling you how the truth is, because I have my interpretation of it. So this wasn't in the age of Pisces. There was no questioning. Yeah, now it's questioning everything, having my own interpretation. I will believe what I think, or what I have questioned. I won't believe in anything that I don't directly think about or question. So that's the difference with the Aquarian age. So that's one big thing. So empowerment of people, solidarity, empowerment, equality in a very unusual way. We're not all the same, but we slowly already, just through the spread of the internet and access to knowledge, we became a lot more equal than we ever were. Like the fact that people have access to knowledge or to information as fast, when information was the one thing that you would use to manipulate the masses. We still use it now. We kind of trick people, fake news and all of this, but you cannot hold information only for an elite group of people. Information is out there for everyone to access it, and this is what's going to happen with resources as well. Not by chance we have Uranus in Taurus now. Resources will also kind of be shared, and we will just move towards an era where it's a lot more mental, less feeling, more mental. I have to tell you this. So it's not all ideal. We will become a bit more self-centered. We won't be so much about, okay, I feel for that person. We would be, okay, I'm going to help that person because it makes sense to help that person, and it makes sense that we are all on a similar level, and we will all get to a similar level. That's the problem. That's what will happen. We will all be at levels where no one is extremely down or no one is extremely up. Some will still be higher up than the others, but the discrepancies of people dying of hunger and all of this, I don't think in 1,000 years we'll still ever talk about this. But you have to think, if we're all kind of equal, and if we're all in our own minds and organized with different groups of people, there's less of that need for compassion. So compassion, the very Piscean way of compassion, of I from here give to you down there, won't exist. It will be an exchange of ideas. It will be structures that will help people be balanced in society and equalized. But a lot of that human feeling for the other will not be there as much. Also, the very Pisces is extremely romanticism, everything that has to do with this dreaminess of love, dreaminess of religion, of magic, of all of it. Aquarius is a lot more about companionship, about friendship, about real principles, about people associating with people based on their minds. So that very, like impossible Romeo and Juliet type of love, it's very, very Piscean in a way. It's not something that will come in the Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius is a lot more about sharing principles, sharing ideas, sharing like-minded things, and organizing structures based on this. So romantic love, it will still be there. It will be less important than friendship. Aquarius is the sign of friendship. And if you look at how today's society is already forming, the friendship is becoming a lot more present and important, but also this type of mental friendship. So really friendship over the networks, friendship through ideas, friendship through information, friendship through groups that have things in common. So friendship will be an important component of the future. Friendship, equality, all beautiful concepts, but less dramatic, less magic, less romanticized. Telepathy, yeah. Okay, good. I like this. So telepathy is, you have to understand something. So I'm already talking to you guys. You guys are not with me here in the room. I just need this device to do this. But if this device can do this, question everything. Okay, let's all question this. If this device can do this, and you can hear me through this device, can I not send you this without this device? I can. I'm using the same wavelengths. I'm using whatever exists already can exist without this machinery that I'm on at the moment. So telepathy is something that we'll probably have in the future a lot more of, because when I'm talking about Aquarius downloading from the cloud, also the cloud consciousness. I had this idea, I don't know, I think like 10 years back, and when did the cloud appear? I don't remember exactly, maybe less than 10 years. And I was like, oh, the cloud, but isn't this how we get ideas also? Like, don't we download them from a cloud? Isn't this what flow is and what inspiration is? Everything that we have recreated in terms of internet communication and all of this reproduces something that already exists as a system, but we cannot access it anymore because we haven't questioned it. We haven't necessarily, we lowered our frequency in a way so we can survive in a very pragmatic way on Earth and have like build things through the Earth type of building things from the ground. At the same time, now Aquarius allows us to kind of reconnect back and have that connection between the ground and up and between each other. So how the Buddhists believe also is that we're one drop in the sea and the whole sea is connected. And this works. Definitely it works in the internet world, in the telecommunication world. why would it not work between us? It will just be when we'll be able to access it again. And this is why people are talking about raising consciousness, and this is why people are coming on YouTube and they're saying it's all changing and all changing. Actually, the whole changing thing, in my opinion, is just going back to what we always knew. And when you get inspired at one moment on where you're like, okay, this person called me and I just thought of them 5 minutes ago, or, you know, I just heard their name, I saw that. And you're like, is it a coincidence? And then you look up law of attraction video and it says it's synchronicity. So, and then you start, okay, I'll listen to this guy because he knows what the synchronicity is. Okay, so in a bit of time, with a bit of energy from this conjunction as well, we'll all get to a point where we'll kind of know, okay, he called or she called because I thought of that person, or that person thought of me to call me because I mentioned their name, or or all of this, or I can actually send someone a message now only with my thoughts, just because I'm accessing a different level. I'm just going one level above where I wasn't going before, and I don't even need this machine to do it for me now. So yeah, definitely, I think telepathy will be a thing of the future. I think anything that has to do with us being more up here, we're talking about the chakras here, yeah, mental. I'm going from all of this. We have enough on earth, we're developed enough, we're moving towards a new dimension, and also towards the mental mind, where actually we can communicate, we can achieve things through our mind. So the mind has more power of creation than our hands have in the end, but we're not aware of it because we have disconnected from it. But once we enter this era of Aquarius and we kind of open up our eyes with a bit of exercise and with a bit of a push, we'll all get to be able to manifest a lot more with our mind, and to make it work for us. We're already doing a lot less physical work. Think about how much work has been done now by mind instead of body, and then this is where we're heading towards. It's just finding a way to keep some of the things that have to do with the concrete life that we have built. You know, like you and I might be also be a bit scared, you know, like to lose the concrete reality. That's why Aquarius is good, because Aquarius is in between worlds. Remember, consciousness and Earth. Saturn already ruling Aquarius, where we reorganize our current reality. So making sure that we are still keeping things down here on Earth, good for all of us, not only in our minds, but our minds will become a lot more powerful. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions or comments, otherwise I think we're gonna head towards ending this live session. Anything that you guys want to share, or your hopes for the next year, or your hopes for the next 20 years, the next 2000 years also for the new age, just leave me a comment down below, or write me in the chat. I'm thinking of doing a video also about how this conjunction is going to impact each individual sign next year, depending on where it falls, in what house. Star seeds. Oh my God, I don't know so much about star seeds. You need to tell me. I'm curious to find out more. Yeah, so please write me, or write me in a comment, or send me a message, because yeah, I'm really curious to find out more and discuss. Yeah, so I think if we look at the next year, you're already will start to feel things, and based on where your sun is placed already. I like astrology that simplifies things for people. So I like when you can say one big thing is happening in one of the houses for a certain sign, and then you kind of know, like for next year where things will be playing. So for example, for me as a Pisces sun, then you look at your rising also, of course, but I think it's enough to know where the sun is and look at where this conjunction is happening. So for me as a Pisces sun, but also a Pisces rising, this is happening in my 12th house. I feel like next year has to do a lot with 12th house things, among which I choose astrology. It has to do a lot with self-reflection, with understanding things, with being a bit more isolated in my own world to kind of develop this next evolution step in my life and share it with you guys. So I'm curious if you guys would like to see a video about each sign and how it's gonna impact each star sign for next year. I might do this before New Year's. Okay, so yeah, write me any comments, anything that comes to your mind, anything that you would still like to discuss about this topic. Is such a powerful topic. I feel that the discussion tonight, I feel in it, I said a few things that I felt as my truth, as the truth inside me. So anytime you resonate with something and you feel like that's another, I'm giving you another tip that that might be useful for the future, when we're all able to kind of take energy and interpret it. If you feel that something feels right, that tingling inside, and when you're sharing an information, that means that you're divinely inspired to share something. It won't be every word, but you'll feel when you're telling your truth, or when you're downloading an information that has to do with universal truth. And I think this is something that we'll all be able to do more with under this this age of Aquarius and under this Aquarius energy. Oh, thank you so much, guys, and see you next time. Until next time, I'm Aries Moon Girl. I care about the stars, but most of all, I care about you, and this is why I do these videos. Oh, and guys, watch the video of Lada Duncheva as well on this topic. I don't need to advertise her. She's Aquarius rising, but I love her, and I feel I when I watched her video on it, I felt the truth also coming from her video. So have a look also at that. Okay, see you in my next video. Bye bye.